Let's talk Rovers, shall we? Aaron.
Hi, all right.
Good, thanks. What do you want to say tonight?
Well, I think this is probably on paper our best chance to get points on the board this month. And you know, Accrington has always been what's traditionally known as a bogey team for Doncaster Rovers. So, you know, it's going to be hard to get points on the board, especially since we've never beaten Accrington Stanley. We lost 6, drew 2. And also with the fact that John Coleman's side have been playing pretty well. They've been pretty impressive this season so far in the early stages. So it's going to be a tough game anyway. But I just wanted to come on really just to say I hope we do get points on the board. But if not, then, you know, fans shouldn't really be panicking, in my opinion, because Richie has warned us publicly that we are going to have bumps in the road during the rebuild process. We are going to have the start to the season that we didn't want, and we're going to have to, you know, ride through the bumps. But at the end of the day, as the saying goes, we have to go through the bad times to experience the good times. So if everyone just keeps their patience, then I'm sure good times are set to come back to Rovers, and I'm pretty confident that Wellens could be the man to do it.
Well, he's got a big job on his hands. Gavin Baldwin said in the summer that this year was essentially a year of transition. He didn't use that terminology, but that is what he was getting at. But they want to see some kind of progression, and next year hopefully be in a place financially and in terms of football to have a crack at the playoffs. So this year isn't necessarily a free hit, but there isn't the demand necessarily to get into the playoffs.
100%. And me personally, I know there was a growing sort of group of fans on social media that are starting to turn against the board already. Me personally, I don't get that. And the reason why I don't get that is because, you know, the board have kept us stable. The board are the reason we still have a football club. What they're doing is they're making sure we are financially stable enough to push for promotion in the next year or two. So I fully back what the board's going to do. We've recruited very, very well. I mean, Richie Wellens said after the game against Sheffield Wednesday that basically in terms of transfers, you know, we can only bring in 2 loans, and, you know, if we can push the button on this well-renowned League One striker, then we can do that. So, I mean, if we don't get this League One striker in as well, then that's fine. You know, we can only do what we're going to work with at the minute. And we've recruited well. So for a first transfer window out of, I'd say, the next 3 or 4, because traditionally a rebuild wasn't done in a day. Like Rome was not built in a day. A rebuild's not done in 12 months. So I think this transfer window, this first one out of, I'd probably say 3, 4, maybe even 5 transfer windows to get the full extent of the rebuild. For a first transfer window, I'm very impressed with the signings that we brought in. It's just COVID and injuries that have hit us hard and really hard. And it's done that for the past few years at Rovers, so it's nothing new to us, really. So my advice to fans would be just sit tight, just go over the bumps, and I'm sure we'll get there eventually. I have faith in the ball. I've got faith in the manager, faith in the players that will do it eventually, and hoping for a good win today against Accrington Stanley and try and break the curse to get the first few points on the board.
Well, it is a good chance to do that. I mean, they've beaten Cambridge, haven't they? They're a niggly team, aren't they? Well managed, of course, in John Coleman. Richie Wellens has spoken for a couple of weeks now about essentially needing pace. They've got the groundwork for a team. Defensively, you can be fairly solid, can't you? But for mistakes, Rashawn Williams has had quite a lot of positive kind of chatter about him, amongst others this season. It's just about the final bit now, and Okenabire coming back.
100%. I think the wingers that we've got already, I think Aidan Barlow's a guy that will never be afraid to run at defenders. He will go for them no matter what. So we've already got that kind of technical pace in the side already. When Taylor, Hawula and Okenabire come back, it's just going to add that more to that attack force. And, you know, if one or both of the loans that were expected to arrive before the end of the window, if they're going to be, you know, attacking players like a striker or a winger or both, then that's amazing even more because we've got even more depth in the attack now. So I think it's going to get bigger and better, and it's going to get better when the people come back from injuries, and obviously Smith and Seaman who can play on the wings as well from COVID and self-isolation respectively. So it's going to be better when they come back. And as Richie said, you know, November, December is when we expect the results to really come consistently. And when we get the players back, we expect a better squad. So, you know, I've got every confidence the pace is going to come back eventually. And for now, at least, we have to sort of work around the sort of pace problem. But hopefully we can do it in a way which still gives us some kind of results when we're going through this sort of transitional process.
Aaron, thank you. Thanks for your call to the programme. So, Doncaster Rovers fans, respond to that.
Rovers still again!